Here's a short video on the subject of placing images for web prototype pages. So this is meant to show you two different options, either using Publisher or Designer. Here in Affinity Publisher, I've created a series of 4 pages, which is only possible in Publisher. And I'm going to use the tool here on the left called Place Image Tool. And excuse me, hold on. I'm going to use the tool Picture Frame Rectangle tool. And I'm going to create a box. Maybe this is going to be a masthead for my homepage. And then once I've created that box, and you have to make sure you choose Picture Frame Rectangle tool and not the one above it, which is just the rectangle tool. With the object active, I am just going to go to Place in File, and then I'll navigate to a photo that I've chosen. And you'll notice that this photo is taller than the area that I've assigned it in the rectangle frame. And what that does is it crops it, it clips it into that space. And then if I want to move it so that the main feature of this photograph is shown and not hidden, I can just hover over that frame and hold down my mouse, and then I can move the picture around, and it's going to move around within that frame. So it's a nice, easy tool to create clipped photos for your websites. And then, of course, you can grab the whole frame and move it around just by clicking on an area outside of this central area here. So it's the central round object with the arrows in it that allows you to move the photo within the frame. So hopefully you do consider this option of creating wide photos or photos that go all the way to the edge of your web page. I think it's a nice option instead of having a white frame around everything. If you instead choose to work with Affinity Designer, it's a little bit more of a process. And let me show you how that works. So I have here, I don't have multiple pages. You're going to have to create a separate file for each page. But I do have my web page file created, and this time I'm going to go just to File, Place. I haven't actually created a frame for it. And I'll just find my mansion photo, and I'm going to get this little icon here, which is going to help me to position my my photo. And you're going to see here, you're going to get the whole photo. It's not clipped. So you can get to the edge here to scale it down, but you're not going to be able to eliminate parts of the photo that you don't want to show. So if you wanted to use it as a masthead, you're going to have to you're going to have to clip out parts of the photo. And the way that I learned how to do it is I went to Affinity Designer Help, and I looked at layer clipping. So you can just come up here and go to Help and type in layer clipping, and it'll give you some instructions on how to do that. But the simple way is that you're just going to create a rectangle. And that you have to have your layers panel open. You'll see that the rectangle is now a separate layer, and you can position that rectangle if you want to position it up at the top of your web page as a masthead. And then you're going to just utilize this layers panel to create a layer clipping. So you're going to come over here and you're going to grab your photograph, and you're going to just drag it on top of, let's see, how do we do this? There we go. You're going to drag it on top of the rectangle layer until you see a little highlighted box that pops up. And then you just drop it in like that. And you notice now over here that I have now clipped out the mansion. You don't have the option with, as you do in Publisher, to now move it around. So the placement within the frame is a little bit less intuitive and easy to use, but it still works quite nicely if you want to clip your photographs in Designer. The third option would be to actually go into Affinity Photo and actually clip this photo out and save it as a separate file, as it would be to the exact specifications, the exact scale and dimensions that you'd want it, and then you drop that in as well.